Hi, everybody. It's now Friday, the 17th of September, 2021. I'm Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, and we're going to continue Kemi Talks Life. The story of my life. You know, I get a lot of people tell me I'm a very strong woman. When they read these stories, they cry. I always tell you guys, don't cry. I'm actually not a strong woman. I am very, very broken. And I just think it's God that's given me the little bit of strength that I've gotten, because there are times when I'm out there with you on social media, outside, and I'm smiling, but really I'm crying inside because of depression, anxiety, and just my life. Sometimes you don't really want to be looked as a victim all the time, because a lot of things we do, they say we are responsible for what happened to us, but not always. I'm hearing people saying there's always two sides to the story. On my story with Babs Ogunade, there's no two sides. There's only one side, my side. There's no two sides to it. This is somebody that I dated for 30 days. This is somebody that said I was a one-night stand. He only had sex with me once on one night. You know what I mean? And that's just it. Okay, 2 rounds, but once in that one night. I remember the night, May 17th, 1986. And I haven't seen him since then. I've tried to talk to him on the phone, like almost 30 days later. I even went to his door, his house, and he sent me away. So 34 years later, I really have to say 35, because that was 1986. 35 years later, I'm telling this story because he's a big sports executive, and I'm a big media personality. And our lives collided again because I called him out on Father's Day. I let people know that he fathered my oldest child. But instead of him to come to me and acknowledge my child, he's traveled to America and found my child through the help of my family, who's estranged from me. The ultimate betrayal. So some of you saying that there's two sides to the story. There's really no other side. Why hasn't he said anything? He's in a very, very big position in the Nigerian Basketball Federation. And scandals are not good when you're talking about corporate entities. You saw what happened at FCMB with the former MD over there. You saw what happened at, I can go on and on, Super TV. Michael Ataga was killed, by a Unilag student. Allegedly, we don't even know who even killed him. But she's changed her story. But me and Babs, I'm calling him Babs because the 30 days I knew this guy, I called him Tunde Ogunade. Baba Tunde Ogunade. They call him Babs. About 4 months ago in April, I went to Azuka's party. Azuka Ogujuba, this day at Media Room Hub, she had her 50th birthday. And while I was there, I saw Ruth Osime, style editor for This Day newspapers. And Ruth looked at me and said, "Hey, Kemi, has Jamba ever asked of your child?" Okay, Jamba, that's his nickname. Okay, Jamba actually stands for tragedy. Okay, it was a nickname he was given when he was actively playing basketball as a young man in his 20s and 30s. I remember him telling me he had a basketball scholarship to go to America and he gave it to someone else. Hakeem, his friend, Olajuwon. Well, the rest is history because we know what happened to Hakeem. He became an NBA star and the rest is history. But yeah, the way he dribbled, I don't know anything about basketball. I actually don't like basketball. When I was in America throughout, I just sat down and I didn't even know what the hell they were doing. But when they had those NBA finals and everybody was stuck to the TV, I just sat down and was stuck to that same TV watching it with them. So it's not my favorite, sports. So Ruth asked me if he's ever come back and asked for my child. I said, no, he has never. Ruth now said, how many years? And I said, 35. That was in April, but no one knew that May, June, July, August, 4 months' time, everything was going to change. So I saw Ruth at Tiwa Savage's father's funeral, which was about last week, the 3rd of September. And I said to Ruth, yeah, he's actually gone to America to meet with my child without my knowledge. Ruth was like, what? I saw the whole thing on the blogs that, you called him out and he went to America, but you didn't know anything about that? I said, no, I didn't. I just woke up and I picked up my phone right on this table here, if you can see it, right by my bed. And the first thing I saw on the Instagram feed was my son writing, finally I meet my father after 34 years. My heart sunk. How could he do that to me? Let's talk about autism. It's a developmental disability. It's a spectrum, one long line. Some people are at the end there, they can't talk. The ones at the end here, very high functioning, they go to work. And they call them Asperger's syndrome people. Those ones are that high functioning sections where my son is now. But at the same time, they're still autistic. They are very intelligent. They have one thing that they know very well. They remember things. My son likes numbers of buses. He knows what bus goes to what area in any part of all 50 states in the United States. He likes cosplay. Cosplay, those people that like to wear superhero costumes and they go to the superhero conventions and so on and so forth. My son likes that stuff. And he has a page on TikTok and Facebook. They're antisocial. The littlest thing they may not know how to do, but the hardest thing they know. And I remember my son doesn't even know how to tie his shoes. I haven't seen Enitans since 2011 when we left Canada. 10 years. I talked to him on the phone. We argue. Many things have happened on that phone, but what's up and all. Many things have happened down the way. My second child I haven't seen for 18 years because of when he was taken away to live with his dad when Annie bit him, B-I-T. Annie bit me all over my body as well. Smashed my head against the wall. A 12-year-old, he was profoundly autistic and very violent. There are many like that. I told you about that yesterday. But let's go back to when my son was 2 years old, 1989. I left Philadelphia and I moved to Baltimore, Maryland. I became a pharmacist and I started working. When my son was 2, my mom came to America and said, can we take these children home so they can spend some time and you guys can relax and go to work? No need for babysitters and all that. So I sent my son home and my sister sent hers home too. The boys were 1 and 2. During the time my son was in Nigeria, something happened. And no one in this world is going to convince me that it had nothing to do with my son's autism. There are things that happen in the spiritual world in Nigeria, which the Oyimbos have another word for. But while my son was in Nigeria with my parents, my dad's second wife, Ronke, her name is Ronke Olunloyo, but her maiden name was Shonaike. She didn't get along with my mom didn't get along with her. That's their own thing. Somehow, someone took my son to a ritualist at 2 years old. According to what I heard from my mom, they said Ronke took my father and my son to a ritualist. My mom said, I had no idea and no one told me that was where they were going. They would take the boy out and everything. Why did my son go to a ritualist? I confronted my dad. I confronted Ronke over the phone. They said because he couldn't talk. At 2 years old, a child should start talking. At least they should say mommy, daddy. My son has never said daddy. The first time my son said dad was 34 years later, last month. He actually looked at someone and said daddy. Some of the blogs, legit NG, formerly Night.com, wrote something about they've been apart for so many years. No, they've never been apart. Legit, my son has never seen his father. It's not that they've been apart. He's never seen, he's never known his father. His father has never been there. Okay, his father called me a one-night stand to his entire family. He said he only met me one night, which is true. I assumed we were dating because he actually asked me out. We spent 30 days together in London, England. I got pregnant. I fell sick. And then he told me it couldn't be. Then he changed it to get rid of it. Then he changed it, if you have that baby, I'll tell the whole world you're a one-night stand. That's what he did, and I had my baby. I was sent away and I went back to America. I went back to school. Now, back to Nigeria. So somebody noticed that my son couldn't talk. They went to a ritualist. Why a ritualist? Runke took my dad, according to my mom. Well, later on, I found out that they were all in it. My mom was well aware that they went to a ritualist. But I know that when they sent my son back to America, that's when I noticed something was wrong. My son could not talk. He was frustrated. He would make noises. When he wants something, he'll point at it and make noises. What was wrong with my son? My child was not like that when he went home. My son was talking, was saying, Mom. He was saying things that a 2-year-old should say. But when he came back from Nigeria, he couldn't talk again. Did they use my child for rituals? I've always thought they did. They lied amongst themselves. My mom, my dad's younger wife, and my dad. My mom will cover up by coming to America to see if she can help me. My sister, Funke Olunloyo, used to be Mrs. Omitowoju, divorced. We'll get to her in a few minutes because she's done quite a lot of bad things. She was a former special advisor to the governor of Oyo State, Ajimobi, for education. She was the one that beat me up so bad with her house girl. And I'll show you photos and videos. Some things you wouldn't even believe. They get into fake accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and they talk to me not to ever tell these stories because it can destroy my parents. In fact, these stories I'm telling you now, they say that if my mom and my dad were here, they'll have a heart attack and they'll die. Oh, I can't wait for that to happen. If they're really going to die because I'm telling the story of my life. Funke would apply for a visa at the United States Embassy and tell them that she wants to come and help me with my son. I will write a letter. I'll do all those things the embassy used to ask for in those days. And Funke will arrive in America. She spends 1 day or 2 days in my house, moves, goes to her husband's family's relatives. They use me to get visas. They'll say they're coming to visit to help me with my son, but they'll travel elsewhere and they'll leave me. My own family, sisters, my mom, everybody. My mom will come into my house and plant all kinds of stuff around my house. Yeah, plant. She'll say she's writing prayers. She'll write a piece of paper, she'll write prayers, and then she'll do it and fold it up in the paper and hide it behind things in my house. Behind photos, portraits. She's saying she doesn't want any evil to come into my house. What my mom was doing was she was actually placing all kinds of juju in my house. My son would become a very violent child by 5 years old. I met somebody else, Wayne Iluyomade. We used to call him Wayne. Wayne was short his name for Wayne. The Iluyomades were a military family. You know, I actually was engaged to marry him, and we had an engagement thing in Nigeria. And when we were supposed to come and marry, there was so much domestic violence. Wayne would start beating me, hitting me. This is someone I was dating for a while, and he never really touched me. There was just something inside our house. Yeah, all the juju my mother planted. And Wayne almost killed me. I got pregnant. And I canceled the whole wedding thing. So the minute that I was going to have that baby, let me just say I was due on the 21st of November, 1991. No, I wasn't due on the 21st. I was due on the 25th, Thanksgiving. On the 22nd, something bad happened. This guy beat me up so bad, only because I came home and I didn't cook. Why would a man do that? I was seeing forces, spiritual forces coming out of the walls of my house, asking this guy to beat me. It's been going on for a while. I would call the police will arrest him, they'll give him a restraining order. It was just like something was wrong inside that house. At the end of the day, I was induced into labor. My temperature was so high, I was dying inside the house. And I called his cousin, Taiwo Oluyomade. Taiwo was at work. He came home and grabbed me to the hospital and called his cousin Wayne. And then when Wayne got to the hospital, I said that he beat me up so bad last time. My nose was bleeding. The doctor said they have to induce labor or the baby will die. I was due 3 days later. So they induced labor. I had the baby. Oyinlade is the one I haven't seen for 18 years. Lived with me 8 years. He'll be 30 in November. Due to the violence of the autistic boy, he was removed. At the end of the day, it was good for his safety, but I never got my visitation because his father made it hard for me. With his wife and everything is scattered now. He's divorced, his father died, his mother, I don't know. But everyone that did evil for me is now seeing the evil. At the end of the day, Oyinlade was born. He was my newborn baby. I came back to the house. Family will get involved. I mean, his family. His mother will like, cool down. Shebi's accepted your autistic child. It was always he's accepted your child. It was, he's accepted your baggage. So domestic violence is okay, Abby. That's what they always said. At the end of the day, Eni was 5 and Enitan saw a lot of abuse. When children are witnessing their mothers being abused by a man, they become abusers themselves. A psychologist was saying, could that be why Eni was hitting me and beating me by the time he became 12 to 19? Could be. But he almost killed me. One beating I got, I collapsed. My son really punched me in the brain. And I heard him calling 911. My mom is dead. You should have seen 25 police cars in front of my house. I was alive, but I was really, really attacked. I was breathing and I couldn't talk. They took the child to a hospital for mental evaluation. They rushed me to the hospital. Many things happened. Raising on it. Meanwhile, Babs Ogunade was living his life in Nigeria with his wife and kids, and like nothing happened. This is why I have to tell you guys these stories. I left Instagram last week. Facebook, I closed all my accounts. I don't want contact with anybody on social media where they're crowded anymore. 500 and something thousand on Instagram. Maybe 2 something on Facebook. I just want to tell stories. I'm going to explore Snapchat and TikTok, but for now, I'm going to be on YouTube. If I have a post, I'll put it in the community section. I love you guys, my YouTube fans. Many of you have supported me, sent me money, supported my job. You know what I mean? It's very hard being an independent journalist and not having funding. But, yeah. So my son and I, after a while, I left Oluyomade. We broke up, we dissolved the engagement, wedding, everything. Nothing happened. At 27, and I moved on. I moved to Pennsylvania from Maryland, and I took my 2 kids with me. Now I had a 5-year-old and a newborn baby who was almost 1. I became a full-blown single mother. Okay, the third child was Rich KJT. And I'll tell you where he came in and his father and the autism. Nobody wanted to take care of an autistic child. They did not want that baggage. I did it myself. Today, my children are 21, 30, and 35. That's what they're going to be. No one can come up forward and say that they helped him with my children or they worked. No, nobody can say they were there for me. Nobody. I did it myself. There's no two sides or three sides to the story. Okay? I was engaged to an abuser. I was impregnated by a deadbeat. And the third one, Rich KGT's father, was very emotionally abusive. Well, 3 children for 3 men, it's not a big deal. If you don't find the right man, keep finding it. Ibina Fabressima, I think she has 3 too, for 3 different men. Tony Lamani has 3 for 3 different men. It gets to the point where you're going to find the right person. So don't castigate people that have multiple children. It doesn't work like that. Abuse is very important. Some of you want to be Mrs. and you want to sit in the abuse. Okay, you ultimately get killed. If it's domestic. If it's emotional, you'll go on Instablog and you'll tell your stories there, right? Marriage to me is a scam. I've always said marriage is a scam. It's not for me. I've never been married and never will be. I can't even fall in love with anybody. Somebody was asking me, what if Babs Ogunade wants to go out with you, or God forbid, someone that I don't even know? 30 days and the person denied me and my baby. I don't even know him. I don't know what he looks like unless I Google his name. It's the same face, because I have a photo of him when he was 30, when he impregnated me. It's the same face, it's just older. I called him. Oh, you have to hear about that phone call. Nothing happened. It's the same person, arrogant. I messaged him. He blocked me on WhatsApp. It doesn't bother me. I called him on another line. It was like, go ahead, I'm listening to you. For 1 minute, I spoke to him and the line cut off. He didn't cut the line off. The line actually cut off. It was a heavy storm. And the beep came in. You know how it is. I didn't call him back. Why am I calling Babs Ogunade anyway? Shouldn't he be calling me and telling me, Kemi, long time, 35 years. I'm sorry for what happened in 1986. I went to see your son. Or I went to see our son. On a normal day, if my son didn't have autism, he'll be 35 in February. And he probably is married with at least 4 children. What does my son tell his children? What would he tell my grandchildren? I'm sitting here being grandma Instagram to all these children of celebrities when I could actually be a real grandma in real life. Because my son has a developmental disability, I don't have any grandchildren. But how would it be if you just came into people's lives like that when you ran away from them? We'll continue that tomorrow, Saturday, the 18th of September. I'm Dr. Kemi Olunloyo. I'll see you tomorrow, Saturday evening. I do this video at the same time, 10 p.m. Have a good weekend. Kemi Talks Life.